Hello and welcome to. Oh my god, I look. Okay, no one's watching this except for me, and also this is just a reminder: do not have the last thing you do before you go to bed is watch screens, and the first thing you do in the morning go to screens, because the way it's giving me a headache in my eyes, and I look rough. Anyways, let's get into it. Chapter 7, Day 7. Welcome to Meandering with Nia. Let's meander. Okay. We're going through Meditations for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman. We just got through Chapter 7, which is called Day 7, Let the Future Be the Future, on crossing bridges when you come to them. And this, first of all, I feel like this is related to this chapter. If not, hold on, my mom just came home. Okay, we're back. So this chapter is all about letting the future be the future, and basically reality, which 5,000% agree with. We can't ever foresee the future. The one thing about being finite human beings living in the present moment is we literally do not know what the future holds. We can do our best to plan, and those plans sometimes work out and sometimes they don't. And so this chapter is about accepting that limitation, accepting that reality. What this is bringing up for me, because I want to work through this. I was going to snap my besties about this. But I'm here right now, and I'm like, why don't I see what happens if I talk through it out loud on this episode? So I met somebody a couple days ago, and we were hanging out yesterday, and they also happened to be able to meet my mom yesterday, and we had conversations, and like the vibes were cute, the vibes were cool. And last night, then I hang out with this person later, and they said to me, in our interactions, what I can tell about you so far is it seems like, you're still trying to figure life out. And the way that I still feel the physical somatic response in my body that I had when this human being said that to me, like, I feel heat in my head. I feel my chest closing up. Like, I feel my body preparing to fight. Because, like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? And I literally, like, immediately just cut them off. And I was like, yeah, obviously. We all are. Is anybody not trying to figure it out? Like I still just want to fight this person for saying that to me. And it reminds me of, because too, a week ago at this point, I went on a Bumble date with somebody, and we don't have to get into all the details. Maybe I should like do a series on all of my Bumble dates. However, this person said to me, well, they did this thing where they're like, okay, let's when we get home, let's text each other of like what we thought about the other person, what we thought about the date, and yeah, like our thoughts on the other person. And tell me why this person sent a 3-sentence text message to me being like, yeah, you're pretty easy to figure out and to say what I think about you. You are a good person who knows how to speak Spanish and Portuguese, which I like. And other than that, I do not understand how you could say that you want a long-term relationship when you have no long-terms with your life, long-term plans with your life. You do not have a home, and you literally have no idea what you're doing with your life. How could it possibly make sense for you to be interested in a long-term partnership when you have no idea what's going on with your life? And I'm just like really, I need the entire world to read this book, because who knows exactly what they're doing with their life? Who has it all figured out? And I think what makes me so mad is that people think that we will eventually arrive to a place where we've figured it more out. And that this book is the thing that is helping me find peace in myself to let go of the false reality that only causes suffering, that like, I don't have my life together right now. I'm still figuring it out, but one day I will have figured it out. One day I will be less unfigured out than I am now. And I just feel like everybody is looking at my life, and let me not use large statements like that, whatever it's called, like absolute terms, like everybody. A lot of people, or at least within the last 6 days, 2 people who don't know anything about me, don't know a thing about me, are just like, yeah, you're figuring it out. And like, as if like in one day you'll get there. Like one day you'll be less lost. One day you'll be the... That is the very toxic mentality that gets people in, and let me use I statements, that gets me into feeling like I should be ashamed of where I am, feeling like if I just could make some decisions, then I would be in a better place. And let me not come for these people. Like, both of them, when they could tell how defensive I got from them saying what they said, were like, I'm not saying it in a bad way. It's like not a bad thing at all. Bumble Dude was like, I'm not judging you. We'll just see where your life goes. We'll just see where things go. And I'm like, will we though? Because will I still be talking to you? Probably not. And then other homeboy also could like tell my defensiveness and was like, because I immediately came for him and was like, not like, you don't know me, but like, yeah, of course. Like, I don't know. Basically, it was just like, why would you even say that? Because that, obviously, why do people keep saying the obvious of like, the one thing that I have noticed about you in meeting you in these last 30 seconds is that like, you don't have your life figured out. Bruh. Thanks for, I don't understand why people think it's helpful to make that comment to anyone. That's where I'm going and ending and starting. And why, in what context is it ever helpful to look at somebody and say to them, you know what, after meeting you, the one thing that I've like really, the biggest thing that I can just tell about you is that you are still trying to figure it out. I gotta take deep breaths. Like my body is actually just like so tight. My heart is racing. My chest is hot. My head is hurting. Because why? Why do people have the need, especially to tell me, You don't think I don't know that? You don't think that, what is it, 18 days ago I was in Brazil building a life and now I'm here trying to figure it out? Like, why y'all saying this like it's something profound? Why y'all saying this like it's something to help me? Why are you saying this like it's something that's going to be a good conversation? It's a conversation ender. Okay, it's not. You need to go on a rant. And like, what I want to say is, oftentimes when I find myself getting very upset and very mad externally at other people, it's really just something that's going on inside of me. Because what I like really should also name and acknowledge on this YouTube channel is that these human beings that said these things to me, like, in no shape or form were they judging me at all. They actually, one of them literally in writing said, I'm not judging you. I'm just making an observation. And, you know, time will tell how your life unfolds. And then second homeboy in person, because I cut him off immediately, was just like, was he silent? or was he silenced by me? But he didn't really say much. But he was just like, it's not a bad thing. And honestly, like, the way that his life is set up right now, I feel like he knows he's very much trying to figure things out. And so, you know, like, maybe he was actually trying to find a moment of common ground of, like, it sounds like you're really trying to figure out your life. And if I hadn't cut him off, he might have said, and so am I. I think I still do feel like resistance, hesitation, like a physical push back from my entire body that wants to punch and fight. I just think we need to get rid of that phrase because it's redundant. No one in this life is not trying to figure out life. And that might be the episode today. There were a couple of quotes that I could read. Let me see if there's anything I want to just like wrap up with. Okay, I'll read 2 quotes, which I think do very much help tie into what I said. What is worry at its core but the activity of a mind attempting to picture every single bridge that might possibly have to be crossed in the future and then try and figure out how to cross it? In doing this, worry about the future destroys the present. And I think that's what I'm like getting first of, like, I'm not going to worry about figuring out my life because that's focused on, like, hyper-focused on the future. Like, yes, I will do my due diligence to make steps, to make plans about the future, but I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm not going to act like it is even a possibility to figure it out, to figure out. Like, I think that's what makes me so mad. The language of figuring out, as if life is a problem to be solved, as if life is something to be figured out. Like, that language to me is maddening, is upsetting, makes me want to fight. Because how dare you use that type of language towards my girl life as if she's something to figure out. It's like me. Like, how dare you, if somebody say, like, I'm still trying to figure out, how dare you believe that you can figure me out? Okay, maybe that doesn't work as much. But life, okay? Life is not something to be figured out. It's something to be embraced. It's something to be loved. Like, let's change our language. Like, let's use, like, it sounds like you're learning to embrace life to the fullest. It sounds like you are on the ever-existent journey of loving and living and being alive and following joy, and that's so exciting. Like, can we use that instead of, sounds like you're trying to figure out life? And I'm not coming for these people. I'm just telling us, and I'm telling you, and I'm telling myself, and I'm telling the world, because this video will go viral. I need us to stop using the language of figuring out when we talk about life. Maybe you could say, I'm figuring out how to tie my shoe right now, because you can figure that out, perhaps. But it's not, don't do that to life. Life is not tying a shoe. Life is not, I'm going to figure out how to make a cake. I'm going to figure out how to do this recipe. That is not life. Like, how dare you? How dare the world use such inaccurate, aggressive, dare I say violent language to describe life? Like, that just feels messed up to think that life could ever be figured out. That's disrespectful. We are shrinking life. We are missing out on the essence of what life is. It's not to be figured out, it's to be lived and embraced and loved. Okay, I feel less like wanting to fight and just understanding what was at the core of everything I was feeling. So thank you for meandering for, like, I don't know, I thought this one would be like 6 minutes, but we might be like 15 minutes. I pray we're not at 20 minutes though. And so with all that being said, I will end again with a couple more quotes from the book. Quote, just because certainty about the future is off the table, it doesn't mean that we can't feel confident in our ability to deal with the future when it does eventually arrive. In fact, let's just devote less energy to manipulating the future and have more faith in our capacity to handle things once the challenges actually arrive. And we can do this. We can make plans for the future. We can think about what possible dreams and what steps we can take to make those dreams. And then let go of it. Move on. Take a breath. Take a break. Hamilton fans. Because we don't need to try to live mentally 10 steps ahead of ourselves, straining to feel sure about what's coming later. We have the honor and the privilege and the joy of stopping fretting about literally everything other than how to spend the next instant, this present moment, in a wise, enjoyable, otherwise meaningful fashion. Finite human beings need never worry about anything else. Standing O, Oliver Burkeman, because that's what I'm saying. We need not spend infinite energy worrying about figuring out life. How is it all going to unravel? I have so many stories about being a hospital chaplain. And you know what? Working in a hospital as a chaplain who gets called in when there are emergencies, when there are unexpected deaths, when I'm working in the psychiatric unit, when I'm working in the emergency, when I'm working in the intensive care unit. You know what almost all of those things have in common? People didn't expect it. People didn't expect the car accident. People didn't expect the father choking on something. People didn't expect, I won't go into too many details because I feel like I'd have to give trigger warnings and content warnings. But literally, we never know. And all we do know is this moment. And so, yeah. Here's to throwing away. You know what? Throwing away the language of figuring out anything, figuring out life. And here's to living and loving and embracing and accepting what this book is. This book is making me fall in love more and more with the limitations and finitude of my humanity. And I hope that if you are on this journey with me as well, you are also perhaps experiencing more love and gratitude for our finitude. And that, like, hey, I actually don't have to worry about the future as much as I thought I did. I actually don't have to figure out my life at all, because that's wild to think that I could actually figure it out. And so the fact that I am forever in this process of embracing and loving and learning the finitude of my life and doing the best I can to make decisions, weighing the consequences, we're doing it. So I love you all. Thanks for meandering with me. Thanks for meandering with purpose with Mia. And I head to another town, another city, another state tomorrow. So we will see when I film and reflect. So love y'all. Happy Sunday.